Yeah, well, we got news here and they're wanting to run 2 other laps, so I'm just making sure we're getting feedback.
Not a problem.
Testing. Actually, I'm not messing with that. You got, do on the logo, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated and silence all electronic devices. The ceremony will begin momentarily. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your narrator, Staff Sergeant Carlos Ramirez from the 5th Maintenance Squadron. And on behalf of the Commander, 8th Air Force, Major General Andrew Jabara, welcome to Minot Air Force Base and the 5th Bombing Change of Command Ceremony. We are pleased you're with us today to share in this important ceremony as we bid farewell to Colonel Walters and welcome in a new leader, Colonel Daniel Hoadley. Before we begin today's ceremony, I would like to take this opportunity to go over the military protocol and ceremony etiquette. During the ceremony, you'll be given cues on when to stand and be seated. Today's ceremony will be conducted as an outdoor event. Therefore, all military personnel should remain covered and render a salute during the playing of ruffles and flourishes and the singing of the national anthem. We ask our civilian guests to join us in honoring our nation by standing with your right hand over your heart while the anthem is sung. Additionally, all military personnel must stand at position of attention during the presentation of the Legion of Merit, the Change of Command, and the Air Force Song. Our ceremony today is a celebration of both continuity and change. Continuity in the form of a military tradition whose roots reach back through time to the legions of ancient Rome. The passing of signets that once civilized the transfer of command from one to another. Change, as this great command says farewell to an honored leader and welcomes a successor through a ceremony that differs only in style, not substance, from those of the Romans. Once the members of the official party have taken their place, please remain standing for ruffles and flourishes, the presentation of our nation's colors by the Minot Air Force Base Honor Guard, the singing of our national anthem by Senior Airman Zachary Hawley, and the invocation by Chaplain Major Ryan Boyle. Today, we are honored to have many special guests in attendance. Special guests of Colonel Walters include his spouse, Carrie, and their daughters, Kate and Addison. Special guests of Colonel Walters joining virtually include his mother, Mrs. Cindy Hewlett, and stepfather, Mr. Charles Hewlett. His mother-in-law, Mrs. Sandy Taylor, and his brother, retired Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Walters, and his spouse, Rachel. Special guests of Colonel Hoadley include his spouse, Joyce. Their children, Wesley and Lucy. His father and mother, Fred and Mary. The commander, 20th Bomb Wing, Colonel and Mrs. Sheffield. His friends, Mr. and Mrs. Michaud. His friend, Mr. Nick Adcock. His friend, Mr. Jason Horton. And Major Tyler Ringwald. Distinguished guests in attendance include representing United States Senator Kevin Cramer and Mrs. Caitlin Whitehurt. Representing the United States Congressman Kelly Armstrong, Mr. Darrell Nitschke. And State Senator, the Honorable Randy Burkhardt and his spouse, Pat. The Mayor, City of Minot, and 5th Bomb Wing Honorary Commander, the Honorable Sean Sidma and his spouse, Carrie. Commander, 91st Missile Wing, Colonel Kenneth McGee. Spouse to the Vice Commander, 5th Bomb Wing, Mrs. Amy McGinnis. Vice Commander, 91st Missile Wing, Colonel Johnny Galver and his spouse, Audrey. Spouse to the Command Chief, 5th Bomb Wing, Dr. Mary Evans. Command Chief, 91st Missile Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Tacky Kreider. And former Command Chief, 20th Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Bob Harrington, retired. We would also like to welcome all other civic leaders, commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, friends, family, and members of Team Minot. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the balls bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Chaplain Boyle, please come forward to offer the invocation.
Please join me in prayer. Heavenly God, we thank you for this beautiful summer day and for the many freedoms we enjoy in the United States of America. While this day is a gift from you, our freedom is guaranteed by the hard work of thousands of warbirds who have tirelessly worked under Colonel Walters' command. Your grace has inspired Colonel Walters to faithfully lead us through challenging exercises and inspections, sub-zero temperatures, and dangerous combat missions around the world, all the while ensuring that the lethality of 2 legs of our nation's nuclear triad deterred our enemies and protected the very freedoms we celebrate and cherish here today. As the Walters family transitions to their new assignment, we ask you to bless Colonel Walters, his loving wife Carrie, and their beautiful daughters Kate and Addison as they travel to our nation's capital. Thank you, Lord, for giving us such an inspiring, determined, and capable commander to lead us over these past 2 years. Lord, we also ask you to send your manifold blessings upon Colonel Daniel Hoadley as he takes command of the Warbirds today at Minot Air Force Base. Grant him the wisdom, courage, and strength that he needs to lead our nation's premier bomb wing as guardians of the upper realm. Guided by you, O Lord, and always strengthened by his loving wife Joyce and their beautiful children Wesley and Lucy, we humbly ask that Colonel Hoadley faithfully and fearlessly leads the Warbirds of the 5th Bomb Wing to victory in the honorable pursuit of your peace. We ask all of this in your most holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Honor Guard, Sergeant Cherry, and Chaplain Boyle. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the Commander, 8th Air Force, Major General Andrew Jabera.
All right, well, good morning to everybody. Good morning to everybody. All right, I got to work with the crowd up for you. I'm like the opening act, right? Thank you so much for being here today. What a great honor to join this great group of people on such a beautiful, beautiful day, right? What a great day in Minot. Well, why not? Chaplain, thanks for the invocation and thoughtful words today. And for everyone, how about Sergeant Sherry for that beautiful rendition of the national anthem? Amazing. It's wonderful to officiate this ceremony today and take part in a time-honored tradition as we say farewell to the Walters family and welcome to the Hoadley family. Mayor and Ms. Sitma, Senator Burkhart, Mrs. Burkhart, Colonel McGee, Colonel Sheffield, Mrs. Whiteart, Mr. Nitschke, Chief Harrington, commanders, chiefs, Rough Riders, warbirds, family, friends, members of Team Minot, thank you for attending this ceremony today. I thank you especially to Team Hoadley. Joyce, Wes, Lucy, we appreciate you very much coming out and being with us today. You know, I often say as military members, I do this because I love doing it. Our spouses do it because they love their spouse, but the kids don't always get a vote. So kids, thank you for being part of this. We really appreciate what you've done to help your father as he serves his country. Thank you. I also want to make a special welcome to Fred and Mary Hoadley. Fred's retired Army colonel. He knows the life. He's deployed several times in harm's way in his day, and I'm confident he knows the value of the B-52 circling overhead, just like the Screaming Eagles did in Vietnam, like 10th Mountain Screaming Eagles did in Desert Storm, in Iraq, and Afghanistan. Ms. Carey, let me take a moment to thank you as well, Kate and Addison, for the sacrifices you've undergone in the service of our country. It means a great deal. Not always easy to see that day to day, but it means a great deal to our nation. So here we are, we're doing it again. We're repeating a ceremony that is so symbolic of both the responsibility and the adventure of command. But I will tell you, it is more than symbolic. This ceremony actually has very practical significance. It is a change of leadership, and it's a change of responsibility and accountability. So as an example, if hypothetically, right before we swap the flag, a once-in-a-generation flood comes to this region and devastates the area, I would look, and you would look, to Mike Walters for leadership, as we have so many times over the last 2 years, to take us to where we need to be. But seconds later, after we've done that flag swap, and I've handed it to Dan, it'll be his responsibility, and we'll all be looking to him to either have the answers or know how to get them. Now, we've done ceremonies like this before, but that doesn't make it any less exciting today. It's one of the great traditions of our Air Force. And speaking of great traditions, 5th Bomb Wing. On July 16, 1949, 73 years ago, the 5th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing was activated, which later became the mighty 5th. 5th Bomb Wing has seen many firsts since those days. Warbirds have participated in about every operation and conflict since World War II. Korea, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Desert Fox, Allied Force, Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom. 5th was the first B-52 unit to begin continuous bomber presence on 1 March 2004. And in 2020, 16 years later, the 5th was the last continuous bomber presence mission. We were also the last combat unit overhead Afghanistan, ready to protect Americans on the ground, as B-52 crew members have done so many times over the years, which enabled the U.S. and coalition exfil. And you've all kept our way of life for decades under the safe, secure, and reliable nuclear deterrence operations. Now, the men and women that do this, they did it in very difficult conditions, and they were led by well-skilled and talented commanders like the two we have here today. Mike Walters. You and the airmen of the 5th Bomb Wing have done a remarkable job since you assumed command 2 years ago. You built upon a legacy of those who came before you and have displayed these airmen's capabilities to respond to nation's call quickly and when you needed in many diverse situations. It was remarkable. And you know me well enough to say I wouldn't just say that. You've established a model of success for the airmen. You've prepared them well for the incoming commanders. Team made the difficult look easy. We take it for granted sometimes, but no other nation can do what we do, constantly executing long-range precision strikes and missions around the globe. Colonel Walters led Team Minot in earning a phenomenal 10 Air Force level awards, 108 Air Force Global Strike Command level awards, and the 2020 Castle Award as the best bomb wing in the Air Force. Well done. It wasn't easy, but nothing worthwhile is ever easy. Thank you for your efforts on behalf of the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing. These accomplishments are testaments to your leadership ability. You were deliberately placed in command, and you led the 5th and the team with excellence. I know you're going to continue that same excellence when you get to your next assignment in J33 on the Joint Staff. Best of luck. I'll see you in DC, I'm sure. Now, just as we said farewell to Team Walters, we welcome the Hoadley family. Joyce, Wes, and Lucy, we are very honored to have the family here. I will tell you, the choice of who to command the 5th Bomb Wing is not a light decision. I will also say I know Dan very well, and we're very fortunate to have him take over as commander. Dan most recently served at 28th Bomb Wing as a vice commander at Ellsworth, and he was handpicked because of his reputation for tackling the mission with efficiency, with tenacity, and yes, brilliance. He's going to leverage and build not just on what Mike did, he's going to make it even better. Dan, you've been in the command seat before, and so you realize the importance of the duties that you're about to go on. Today, we entrust the 5th Bomb Wing and the dedicated airmen and their families to you. You were selected for your ability to lead people by example and with excellence. You know the mission, and I know you're ready to hit the ground running. Lead the warbirds into the future and through the challenges ahead as our nation develops better ways to deter and, if necessary, to defeat all threats in our era of new competition. Team Hoadley, today is a big day. I really don't think it could be any nicer than it is today. Look around you. Look at how many people have dedicated their time for you. Today is about you, and it's about your family. Enjoy today. Have fun with it. But remember, Change of Command Day is about the commander and his family. The other 729 days are about the airmen. So let's go do it. We've got airmen out there that need us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, General Jabara. At this time, Colonel Walters will receive the Legion of Merit. Please stand for the presentation of the award. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Legion of Merit. First Oak Leaf Cluster to Colonel Michael O. Walters. Colonel Walters distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct and the performance of outstanding service to the United States as Commander, 5th Bomb Wing, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, from 10 July 2020 to 23 June 2022. During this period, Colonel Walters' exemplary ability, diligence, and devotion to duty were instrumental in strategic installation and the only base to host 2 legs of the nuclear triad. Colonel Walters' stalwart leadership of one of the Air Force Global Strike Command's most deployed wings, including a $5.4 billion nuclear stockpile, 28 B-52s, 150 intercontinental ballistic missiles, and the Department of Defense's largest personnel reliability assurance program, resulted in uninterrupted support and lethal air power to combatant commanders worldwide. Under his command, the wing executed a minimum notice deployment to United States Central Command that enabled B-52s to arrive in theater just 18 hours after the Secretary of Defense's order, resulting in 244 combat missions, providing armed overwatch for the withdrawal of 2,500 United States and coalition troops from Afghanistan, and the largest non-combatant evacuation operation in United States history. Additionally, he guided 8th Air Force's most weather-challenged base through a 175% increase in nuclear generation capabilities, including the first sub-zero temperature generation in 15 years. Furthermore, Colonel Walters championed numerous quality of life improvements that included tripling the availability of family child care in one of the largest programs in the Air Force, and he also created a resident advocate program focused on peer-to-peer influencing and mental and emotional support for the Air Force's largest first-term airman population. His tireless efforts resulted in the 5th Bomb Wing claiming 10 Air Force Level and 108 Air Force Global Strike Command Level awards, including the 2020 Brigadier General Frederick W. Castle Memorial Award as a top strategic bomb wing. The superior initiative, outstanding leadership, and personal endeavor displayed by Colonel Walters reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Colonel McGinnis, please place the formation at ease. Thank you, Sergeant Ramirez. Excellent job. And good morning, everyone. General Jabera, sir, thank you for those remarks, as well as for your excellent leadership of the Mighty Eight, sir. Thank you. And before getting started, I'd like to acknowledge all those who made today's ceremony happen. The amazing protocol team and event planners. Leroy, thank you. The color guard for a job well done. Senior Airman Holly for a powerful and moving rendition of the national anthem. Chaplain Boyle for your touching invocation. And to the formation of warbirds that we have here with us today, thank you, folks. I appreciate it. I'd also like to extend a special greeting to a few people here today. First, to our amazing civic leaders and Task Force 21 members. Senator Burkhart and Pat, thank you for coming. Mayor Sibma and Carrie, so always good to see you, thank you. Brecca, thank you. Mary, thank you so much for coming. Bruce and Linda Christensen, it's always good to see you. Thanks, Bruce. Pete and Jamie Hankla, Mr. Tom Rafferty, thank you so much for all that you do. Ms. Weidert, Ms. Blickensdorfer, and Mr. Nitschke, thank you for coming out and representing our congressional members that are currently in DC. Thank you so much. Special welcome to Willie, Horty, and Hammer, longtime friends. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Glad you could make it. Colonel McGee, Colonel Galbert, Adrian, Chief Kreider, and our mission partners from the 91st Missile Wing, thank you so much and welcome. Colonel Sheffield and Sarah. Chef, so good to see you, brother. Sarah, thank you. Colonel McGinnis and Amy, and Chief Master Sergeant, retired Harrington, thank you so much for coming. Lastly, Dr. Mary Evans, thank you so much, and I'm excited for you and Chief for taking this on. Group and squadron commanders, chiefs, and most especially to the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing, a truly awe-inspiring force and a world-class team. Welcome and thank you. So this is quite a bit to take in, and it's difficult to fully express how blessed I feel to have had this opportunity to lead the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing. A professional and personal journey that I am so grateful for. And I will say that this opportunity only came about by and through the works of others, their love and support, counsel and mentorship, inspiration and influence. Having said that, I hope that my words truly capture my heartfelt appreciation for all those others that have done to afford me this chance to speak today. First, General Ray, General Cotton, General Weatherington, General Jabera, thank you so much for the opportunity to lead the Warbirds and for having faith and confidence in me while giving me the latitude to do so, sir. General Rand, General Van Herk, and General Bussier, thank you for your invaluable counsel and mentorship throughout the years. I owe you a debt of gratitude that cannot be repaid. To my Vice, Colonel McGinnis, and Command Chief Tim Weiser for their support and leadership, caring for our force and families, thank you. And to our 5th Bomb Wing headquarters staff for their sacrifice, dedication, and tireless work ethic, I'm forever indebted to you as well. To our Rough Riders, Chris and Tanya, Kenny and Ringo, Chief, Khaki, the success of Minot Air Force Base is founded upon the strong relationship between our two wings. Thank you so much for your partnership. To my group and squadron commanders and senior enlisted leaders, thank you for your selfless leadership and the courage you demonstrated leading your teams. I'm so proud to have served alongside you. Again, a special thanks to our civic leaders. You are such a big part of what makes Minot Air Force Base special. Like I've said before, on a personal note, you've played such a significant role in the experience of myself and my family. And you've made this so much more than an assignment. You've made it our home. Brecca, don't cry. We talked about this. To my mother and my father, for the values they instilled in me and their support, reminding me that a person's reach should always exceed their grasp. And to my siblings, Daniel and Carrie, for their unending support. Special thanks to my in-laws, Dan and Sandy, for having raised a beautiful daughter and the mother of my children, for their support to my family and I throughout our entire Air Force journey. And to my family, the Walters girls. There are no words, ladies. Through the ups and downs, highs and lows, dragging you across the country and the world through 12 PCSs, you've been my rock. The sacrifices you've made and hardships you've endured exemplify those made by so many Air Force families. Endless duty days, deployments, high ops tempo, being displaced, leaving friends and family, missed birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays, and all the uncertainty associated with that next move. Thank you. Thank you and I love you aren't big enough words, they just aren't. So all that's good in me, I owe to you. Thank you and I love you. To the warbirds, to the men and women, force and families of the 5th Bomb Wing, it has truly been an honor and a privilege of a lifetime to serve with and for you. To say that I'm proud of what you all have accomplished is an understatement. This place, and more importantly, these people of this wing are special. And sir, I know you love all your children equally, but this place is special. This is the Crown Gym, folks. It's the most strategic installation in the Department of Defense. And I can assure you, folks, right now the world is watching. Adversaries and allies alike are watching what Minot Air Force Base does. It watches as we reassure our allies and deter our adversaries. And because of that unblinking eye, every day this wing executes its primary mission, a no-fail mission. And in these last 2 years, I've seen you answer the call time and time again. As a team, you led the first Bomber Task Force quiet arrival into the UCOM AO during the height of the global pandemic. And you didn't skip a beat. You executed the first sub-zero Arctic nuclear generation in 15 years. In negative 40-degree temperatures, you showed the world what you were capable of, all while rewriting the playbook, challenging outdated paradigms and innovating, making us smarter and a more lethal fighting force. You delivered firepower to every single combatant command around the globe, and in doing so became the go-to wing for Dynamic Force Employment's Bomber Task Force. You answered the SecDef's call, the no-notice call, like General Jabari just said, as the immediate response force. We're overhead in a matter of hours, providing close air support, and armed overwatch during the contested withdrawal of our allied forces from Afghanistan. You saved countless lives, and you struck fear into the hearts of our adversaries around the world. You sunk your fangs into that floorboard permanently and put that fear into our adversaries. You did that. You did it as a team. You did this and so much more, all while showcasing your capabilities. It's the most inspected installation in the Air Force and the most deployed wing in Air Force Global Strike Command. Your innovation, leadership, and doggedness have enhanced our nuclear and conventional readiness to new heights, providing combat-ready forces and options to our senior leaders. Teammates, you set the standard for others to follow. Simply put, you showed others what right looks like. Pride and professionalism second to none. So every warbird operator and maintainer, defender, first responder, and medic, engineer, support, and services personnel, your selfless acts, your grit and determination are truly awe-inspiring. You are the personification of only the best come north. And today honors the daily commitment to that excellence. Today honors you. And I'm so very grateful to have had that opportunity to share this pursuit of excellence with you all. Thank you, Warbirds. You left it all on the field. So, like the boss just said, today's ceremony is about the guidon behind me and what it represents. And it's to say that it represents the 5th Bomb Wing, its force, families, and mission. And no matter who holds that guidon, this mission goes on. General Creech once said, excellent leaders stand for absolute integrity and honesty. And they preach the concept of honesty in the organization. They practice integrity in thought, word, and deed, and insist upon integrity and honesty on the part of their subordinates. No one exemplifies General Creech's words more than Colonel Dan Hoadley. I've known Dan for over 17 years and can personally attest to his exceptional officership, leadership, and his uncompromising integrity and character. He's a class act who leads with professionalism and compassion, and I cannot think of anyone I'd rather hand this wing over to than Dan. Welcome and congratulations to you, Joyce, Wesley, and Lucy. Congratulations, my friend. The 5th Bomb Wing is extremely fortunate to have you at the helm. I know you'll take the team to new heights. Congratulations as you assume command of the best wing in the Air Force. Tailwinds to you, brother, and to the mighty Warbirds. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Walters. At this time, the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing would like to bid farewell to Colonel Walters by rendering him one last salute. Additionally, Colonel Walters would like to present flowers to Mrs. Walters and their daughters, Kate and Addison. Mrs. Walters, Kate, and Addison, the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing would like to echo Colonel Walters' appreciation for your sacrifice and support over the past 2 years. You will be missed. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the official change of command. Attention to orders. Department of Defense, Headquarters 8th Air Force, Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana. Special Order number 22-6, dated 13 May 2022. By order of the Commander, Colonel Michael O. Walters will relinquish command to Colonel Daniel S. Hoadley, 5th Bomb Wing, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, effective 23 June 2022. Signed, Major General Andrew J. Jabera. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the 57th Commander of the 5th Bomb Wing, Colonel Daniel S. Hoadley.
So let me start my remarks today by adding my thanks to Airman Hawley for that amazing rendition of our national anthem, to Chaplain Boyle for the invocation, to Staff Sergeant Ramirez here for the professional narration, and to Mr. Leroy Sipe and the entire protocol team for doing an exceptional job putting today's ceremony on. I would also like to recognize our new 5th Bomb Wing Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Torrey Jones, who's standing stoically at the corner of the stage. It's a big day for our family, but it's a big day for you and Mary as well. And I want to extend my warmest welcome to you and Mary, and I look forward to leading with both of you. So I first set foot on Minot Air Force Base in May of 2003. I arrived here from the B-52 initial qualification course at Barksdale Air Force Base. And I was shocked when I woke up the next morning, the day I was to report in, to sub-zero temperatures. Needless to say, it was a less than warm welcome. And my bag was packed entirely with shorts and t-shirts. Not only was I underprepared for the climate, I also stepped into the 23rd Bomb Squadron weeks after their return from RAF Fairford, where they were the leadoff hitter for the shock and awe campaign at the outset of Operation Iraqi Freedom. It was extremely humbling to be the new guy in a squadron full of seasoned combat veterans. So here I am returning to Minot 19 years later, and I'm proud to say I'm a little bit better prepared for the weather, but I'm still humbled to be walking into a unit that is firing on all cylinders. And if I am prepared in any small part for the task ahead, it's due to the mentorship and guidance of many people here today. So let me take some time to recognize a few of them. First, Major General Jabera. Sir, we've worked together for the better part of the last 15 years. And in spite of that, you're trusting me with command of the 5th Bomb Wing. So thanks for your faith and confidence in me for the task ahead. Chewie, this is not the first time you and I have traded responsibility for a cutting-edge unit. And if history is any indicator, I'm walking into an organization that's operating at peak performance. And I'll be sprinting for the next several weeks to catch up to the pace that you set for this wing. Thanks for your mentorship, your friendship, and your guidance over the years. And I wish you and Carrie and the girls best of luck as you move to your next assignment. For the distinguished civic leaders in the room, I've been blessed to grow up on bases throughout my career with tremendous support from the local community and benefited greatly from strong relationships with people like you. And I look forward to continuing that trend here at Minot. To my friends and distinguished colleagues, and I use that term in the loosest sense possible here, Hammer, Willie, Forty, Chef, Rodeo, thanks for all the advice, laughs, kindness, pep talks, and the occasional kick in the butt when I needed it. I'm so grateful for each of you and the people like you that have made the Air Force journey such an awesome time. Thanks for being here today. It means the world to Joyce and I. To my new best friend and brother in this business, Colonel Kenny McGee, the newly minted 91st Missile Wing Commander, I look forward to leading with you and continuing the trend of strong bonds between the 5th Bomb Wing and the 91st Missile Wing. We share an incredible responsibility to care for the airmen of Minot Air Force Base, and I'm psyched about the opportunity we share here in the next 2 years. To my parents, they have been present at every single major milestone in my Air Force career, from the Air Force Academy graduation all the way up to today. This faithful dedication to being present is symbolic of the support they provided to me and our family, and I couldn't be more blessed. Thank you. To my kids, Wes and Lucy, you've been along for the ride for over a decade now, patient at every turn and resilient through many tough times. And I'm mindful of the sacrifices you have made so far, and I hope we find some adventures to have together here over the next couple of years. To my lovely wife, Joyce, you are my confidant, my counselor, my friend, my person, and I literally could not pull this off without you. Thanks for all the sacrifices you have made And thanks in advance for all the great things that you will do for the men and women of Minot Air Force Base. Finally, to the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing, warbirds, we share a weighty responsibility. In an era of great power competition, the nation expects us to provide global strategic deterrence indefinitely. Also, maintaining the ability to deliver lethal long-range strike in the midst of dense adversary threat environments that are growing at an astounding pace, all while fielding the next generation of B-52 capability. Chewie made this point earlier, but I think it's worth reprising the theme. In partnership with our brothers and sisters in the 91st Missile Wing, you can make a strong argument that Minot Air Force Base provides the most substantial contribution to our national defense in DoD. No other singular location comes close. And we cannot be resigned to this fact. It takes dedicated, focused effort by every single member of this team to pull it off. To top it all off, the environment up here is not cutting us any breaks. Perhaps less obvious on a beautiful day like today. Nevertheless, we'll do hard things in the midst of tough conditions and take pride in our ability to thrive in the Northern Tier. We also be mindful that how we execute is just as important as the mission we're executing. We will treat one another with dignity and respect. We will value the contributions of every single member of this team who own a critical piece of the puzzle that makes this mission come together. And we'll look out for each other and our families. It's a tall order for sure, but we must do this. We can do this. We will do this because only the best come north.
Thank you, Colonel Hoadley. At this time, we ask you please focus your attention to the magnificent aircraft parked behind this formation. The aircraft behind you is the B-52H Stratofortress, serial number 60-005, wing flagship. As with aircraft nose art, it is a time-honored tradition for the crew chief to paint the name of the commander near the cockpit. We will honor this tradition today and will now unveil Colonel Hoadley's name on the airplane. And now, the men and women of the 5th Bomb Wing would like to welcome Colonel Hoadley by rendering him a first salute. Colonel Hoadley would also like to present flowers to Mrs. Hoadley and his daughters, Lucy, his mother, Mary, as well as a 5th Bomb Wing coin to his son, Wesley. Mrs. Hoadley, we look forward to working with you, and we welcome you and the children to the 5th Bomb Wing family. In keeping with Air Force tradition, we will conclude today's ceremony with the playing of the Air Force song. While it is mandatory for Air Force members to stand at the position of attention, we invite all of our guests to join us in standing for the Air Force song and the departure of the official party, as well as our special and distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. We invite you to proceed to the Jimmy Doolittle Event Center for a post-reception and to welcome the Hoadley family and stay for refreshments. Thank you for attending. Or was one of